Hey, Blake Gibbons here with Run Diffusion. I just wanted to go over a quick template with you that is specifically for landscape architecture. This is a really great tool that landscape architects, both residential and commercial architecture firms, can use to be able to add materiality, review hardscape type materials they might want to put into a landscape project that they're doing, lighting elements, change different views, and then simply take some of their Revit renders or other renders that they've made or sketches and make them look really, really photorealistic and nice. And then you can also add some visual enhancements to be able to add videos to your project for showing your client as well. Run Diffusion, if you're new here to us, we serve about 500,000 customers, and architecture and interior design is a big focus of ours. And when you first come into our tool, you'll see on your homepage, let me just minimize that. You'll see on your homepage all of our tools here, and you'll see our templates actually featured here at the top. And so if you want to see any of the templates that are featured, you can go here and actually see all the different templates. And so to view all the templates, you can go here, and there's lots of them for stock photography, interior design, massing, form exploration, and there's a few others that we'll be adding here shortly. And so the one that I wanted to show you today is going to be on landscape architecture specifically, but a lot of our clients, just pointing out that a lot of our clients also are building a lot of these templates for their own firms. And that's been super, super helpful to be able to train a lot of their newer employees that are looking to use AI. Some of them are more advanced, some are new for the first time. Creating a board-specific template for your company allows you to create a library of workflows for your company to really drive best practices and knowledge sharing across the firm. And so you can create a template specifically for your company. And then when somebody goes in and uses that template, they can create a board from that template. All the examples, all the prompts, all the settings, they're all carried over into that new workflow. So somebody that's new can become really, really familiar with it really quickly. So the way that our platform works is we have this function of boards. Within boards, Run Diffusion, you can put tools. And so I'm going to go ahead and open up this landscape architecture template. And you can see here, I have kind of my tried and true. I really like these tools for a lot of different use cases if you've seen any of my other templates that I put together. But these are really, really great for landscape architecture as well. And let me show you kind of what I'm doing to build this workflow out. So these are the 6 tools that I have. Whichever one you highlight in purple, it kind of opens up the drawer of menu options that you have here on the right hand side. If I want to expand all my tools, I can open them all up. I can collapse them if I don't want to see all the tools as well. Anything that I have opened is going to show me the generations that I have open within that tool. So in this Flux 2 Pro model, what I really like about this one is it actually has, just make sure my phone is off so I don't interrupt my video. This one has really, really great aesthetics to it as far as photorealism. I happen to really like just how sharp, realistic the generations are with this. I don't necessarily have an active landscaping project myself that I'm going on, so I just generated some imaginary landscape projects that I have. So these aren't my drawings, these are AI generated. I got the prompts here from using our prompt enhancement tool. So if you type in here, commercial landscape project, I can go in here and then I can enhance that prompt by clicking this. And this will add additional tokens to that prompt to be able to have me use it. It's got an LLM behind it. It's Google, it's a Gemini model. It's really, really good. And it will come up with a really nice prompt for you that you can just inject in this space. And then you can run a generation against it. And then you can edit those things how you want to. So the other thing you could do is you could upload multiple photos as well. So if I wanted to use a prompt and images, I could use images. I drag them over, but you could upload them as well from your own projects, software that you might be using. And then you could use those and your prompt here to be able to generate something new. All of your aspect ratios are right here that you might want to use. There's lots of them. And so all I did here is I generated a couple different commercial architecture projects in sort of this colored sketch style. And you can see a few of them here. Ultimately, I went with this one. I kind of wanted to use this one as a base example and make some changes to it. And then I generated a few like products. Well, here's this pencil sketch one, sort of an aerial view of one. And then I generated a few lighting concepts. I didn't end up using this, but I actually like sort of like just a bunch of, you can generate lots and lots of ideas to be able to see what you might want to use within, if you haven't decided on a particular product for your uplighting concepts. And then here's another one. I generated a couple different stone boards, so I could kind of look at different hardscape or materiality. And then I generated just an ink sketch drawing. With this model functions as an image generation model, but you can also edit things as well. So I just wanted to turn this into an ink sketch, which you can kind of see there. And then I generated a couple different pergola styles with this sort of metal, and you'll see where I use those in just a second. This is actually the cover page. So I generated sort of split screen with this image because I want to upload. I have it in my thumbnail image, which you can see here for my project. So going down here, now I want to make some changes. So I ultimately settled on, I think it's this one right here. I wanted to make some changes to this one. So imagine this is your commercial landscaping project for a hospital or a library, government building, and you want to make some changes to that and get some ideas you can quickly review with your client. You can obviously upload Revit style renders into our product as well. White card renders also, and convert those. So if you have like white card massing, here's, just showing an example of where I could take like a sketch and then I could turn it into a more photorealistic render, which you can kind of see there. And then what I wanted to do here was basically get an up close view of certain elements of this commercial project that I'm working on. So I annotated this in red, and then I wanted to get a zoomed in view to see kind of the materiality of this pergola. I noticed these are basically like baby chairs down here. You'll see how I fix that in just a second. But I like this, basically takes me into the pergola so I can kind of see the materiality of the structure. And the way that you annotate images is super easy in our product. You just go in here and basically click on, let me just make sure I have this tool active. So I go in here and I would click on an image that I want to change and annotate. And then all I did to annotate that image was go in, just go back, click on annotate, and then I can select whatever color I want, blue, green. I tend to select brighter colors, and then I can just circle it right here and then submit that. You can also add text to images. So if you want to add text where it says light in this area or dark in this area, it does a really good job of understanding text in these models too. And so that's what I did to be able to get this zoomed in image that you see, where I wanted to see the material up close. So once I have that, I kind of want to explore some other things. Actually, I did make the chairs bigger with the simple prompt. So I just fed my little dollhouse chaired image back into the model, and then had the chairs actually in table right size, so it's a little bit bigger for this space and looks a little bit more realistic. So the other things I wanted to change, where you can see where these metal pergolas came through, where I wanted to use those. So I wanted to see what all the different pergola structures would look like with sort of this black anodized metal, as opposed to like the wood timbers. And so you can see here that everywhere there was a timber sort of pergola, a wood pergola, I've changed those to this sort of black anodized metal, and it just changes them all. I could have been more specific, like change this one and this one. I could have circled them or annotated them, and it would have done that, but I just chose to actually change them all. The next thing I wanted to do was change sort of the time of the year in the picture. And so you can see here, I'm just adding sort of fall elements. You can see here, need some landscapers to come through and kind of clean up the leaves. I could actually prompt that and have those totally removed if I wanted to, but really, really pretty how you can kind of see all the different changes that basically take place if you're wanting to see kind of what things might look like in the fall. I did one for the winter as well with a little bit of frost on the trees and snow. So you can kind of see that here. Everything's iced over as far as the little water features that we have. And then I did want to see what this looked like with this, had this random, if you look in some of the other pictures, there's this random like box that just blocks the sidewalk that I didn't notice until later. And so I just actually annotated that with red and then just had it removed from the image. And so now it's gone. And then in here, I wanted to see what I did actually with this one. Oh, with this picture here, I actually was looking to change the hardscapes. in this specific area, I wanted to make this a little bit lighter stone. So I annotated my image. You can see here, I've kind of annotated all these areas in green and then made a prompt for changing the color of the stone that I wanted. And you can kind of see that here with this compare feature. So colored stone, a little bit more subdued, lighter tones. I actually like this one better. I think it gives it a little bit more personality. I did the same thing with actually using a reference image. So here's my reference image. I circled kind of the stone that I want, sort of a cobblestone look, and then changed my image to be able to annotate it so it has those same sort of dots, and then I'm changing everything to kind of cobblestone. I noticed it missed a couple out here on the edges. It didn't really do it right here. We could just send that through another pass into the platform and actually have it change those as well if you want to focus on those areas. So if it doesn't do it the first time, you can always do it again. And then this one, I just basically changed the lighting. So I wanted to see what things would look like if it was uplit and you had some water feature lights, and you can see kind of what things look like at night. The reason I have Nano Banana 2 in here is it's another model from Google. It's faster and it's about half the price. I actually like this one better in some regards. So sometimes when I'm doing the changes, I notice I do it in both Nano Banana Pro and Nano Banana 2. This model just came out last week. We launched day 0 on Run Diffusion. And I think that sometimes this model actually outperforms Nano Banana Pro. And I really liked how it changed. I actually prefer this picture over the one that Nano Banana Pro came, that it was showing me. I think it looks a little bit better, a little bit more clean, sharper. And so I would prefer this one over Nano Banana Pro. So what's nice about our platform is all the AI models are kind of brought into a single ecosystem, whether you're using OpenAI or ChatGPT or Flux or Magnifique, whatever it might be. We bring all those different disparate tools under a single commercial license as sort of that governance layer where you can manage budgets, you can manage team workflows, and of course you have one UI that you can basically use all those things in. We also have some third-party integrations coming with Photoshop really, really soon, and then Revit and others where those should be out in, I believe, a couple of weeks, where you can sort of drag and drop assets between sort of Revit and Miro or Photoshop. There's more third-party integrations on the way, and that'll allow you to use our tools inside those applications as well. So if you wanted to lasso a specific area and use Nano Banana Pro inside of Photoshop, but have everything roll back through your budgets and your team permissions within Run Diffusion, it's a really great solution for things like that. Using Nano Banana Pro or Nano Banana 2, here's some of the changes that I made here. So basically, I just prompted, I think in my image here, let me see if there is, let me look and see what I actually did on this change. So it looks like I actually didn't put any kind of annotation in there. So it's maybe a misnomer where I have this like prompt in here because I didn't annotate my image. I just wanted to see a camera view that is directly facing the building with that's more like eye level. I didn't. I must have used another. I must have copied a prompt from another image. But basically, what I was trying to see was a front view of the building, kind of looking towards it this way. And even though my prompt is a little messed up, I actually got this is kind of what I was looking for. I wanted to see more of like eye level looking at the building, which it did really, really well. And so the next thing I did, same thing, I just changed things to fall, did a really good job with that. And then I changed things to winter as well. And then I got some pictures of some close-ups of different plants. So this like lavender plant, a really high detailed like close-up view of what that would look like. I did another view that is, let's see, I think this is the same one. Actually, no, this is a little bit different. I think I messed up on this one for some reason. So it's showing here, I made all the green dots and I was going to change something, but I think I accidentally put in my same image on this prompt. So I'll probably just need to delete this one, where I'm asking it to put all the stone in the place of those green dots, but I actually have the reference image that has the exact same. So if that was a mistake on my part, you can just delete the image here. What I wanted to see, here's what I was actually looking to do. Same thing, I wanted to test what this would do compared to Nano Banana Pro. It actually did a pretty good job as well. Didn't get this area here, but of course we could put that through another pass if we wanted to change the stone. I actually think the cobblestones doesn't look that great here. It's a little bit too busy. I actually missed here as well. So those are things you could do after the fact if you want to change that stone in these 2 places by putting it through another pass. And then I just changed the day to night. It has a really nice sunset kind of put out there as well, which is cool. And then I wanted to see sort of a top-down aerial view of the project. And so it's interesting, sort of gave me this like text on the image, but basically just looking top down of what this view looks like, which is cool. And then I wanted to see what the morning would look like. So once I have all those, I can pass these into an upscaler. And let me show you how an upscaler works. So there is upscaling where you just make the images bigger. And then there's generative upscaling, like with Magnifique, where you're actually adding additional details to your image as well and enhancements. And so you can make things more creative if you want to, or less creative. And so I'll kind of show you the difference, the subtle difference between those. And this is a really great upscaler that can upscale images massive if you wanted to, or I think I just 2x'd a lot of these ones. So you can see here, I have my creativity on a 2. So it's definitely like, it's going to enhance just a little bit, but not a whole lot because it's just a close-up image. So it gives me a little bit better like lighting. Flowers are a little bit more sharp. Like you can see this one right here. It's a little bit more sharp. And that's what your upscalers will do. Here's one that I have it on a creativity of 2 as well. You can kind of see here, like, look how that has this rock pillar feature. It just sort of morphs it into something else, like almost rocks inside the pond. That's because my creativity is a little bit too high on this. It changed the bench a little bit. And you can see there's other elements that I like added some details with the flowers. So like mowed lines in the grass, but there's other things that I kind of changed. Maybe I didn't want to change. So in this upscale, I'm actually taking the creativity down to a -3. And this one basically adheres much more closely to my original image, but it is enhancing sort of lighting effect and lighting details that you can see here, and resolution details like on the grass and stuff. It's much better. Those are kind of the differences you'll see with the when you're doing an upscale with Magnifique. And you can change things. Most of the time, I'm only changing creativity and then practicality. Practicality tends to add a little bit better texturization, a little bit better lighting and shadow effects. And so I'll usually maybe bump this up to like a 1 to 3, and then creativity, depending on how much enhancement I want. Usually I'll go anywhere from like -3 to maybe +3. I usually leave these pretty neutral, this pretty neutral. I usually don't put in a prompt, and it works really, really well. And then in this example, I just did a quick time lapse. And so using Veo 3.1, I generated a 4K video, added some audio, some like beautiful symphony music in the background. And this is just a time lapse of sort of morning to evening. So really great visual material you can kind of show to your clients for a presentation to generate clips sort of like this. Really awesome quality in 4K to be able to show sort of morning to evening light. And I like this model as well. Seedance, they have a new model, Seedance 2. It's coming out in hopefully a couple of days or maybe a week or two. And if you haven't looked online, it's there's a lot of hype around Seedance 2 coming out. It looks like a really, really fantastic model. I happen to like Seedance because it does some really fun things from like a special effects perspective. And so you can see here that I have my sketch drawing that I generated up here. And I wanted to basically turn that sketch drawing into the photorealistic image at the end. So you can use frame interpolation in our software where it'll stitch 2 frames together. So this one is a 1080p 16:9 video. The video duration is 6 seconds. I could go up to 12 seconds if I wanted to. And then I've included audio, which is just sort of playful music in the background. And you can kind of see what it did here. Sort of like creatively sort of goes from sketch to final render. If you want to extend your videos, we also have an extension tool. So video edit. And if you click on other, you have extension tools here. So if I actually want to extend those videos to make them longer, I could do that as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this landscape architecture template. It's a really great resource for anybody that's doing sort of landscape design to iterate around materiality and sort of design concepts, do a lot of ideas, iteration on projects you might have. Okay, good luck creating. Thanks.